Welcome back to the 2-Minute Warning. Today I'm taking a look at the Miami Dolphins and going over whether or not I think they should trade for Houston Texan Deshaun Watson. But before we get into that topic, question for those of you and I want to hear your GM skills. What is your trade package for Deshaun Watson? Is it 3 first-round picks, 4 or 5, whatever it is? Comment down below and you'll kind of hear my answer throughout. You're probably wondering a couple of things. Why am I talking about this now? Well, just now the Texans have announced they're finally open to trading for Deshaun Watson. While it may have felt like it was going to happen one way or another, month after month, day after day, week after week, the Texans were persistent on saying, we're not trading Deshaun. He is our future guy. He is our guy today. However, the tide has turned, the table has turned, the tide has changed, whatever you want to call it. Houston has announced they're open to trading. Deshaun's attending training camp, and while there's still many legal things to worry about with the lawsuits, I understand that. That aside, Dolphins, not that they necessarily need a quarterback, and I know there's going to be 900 Dolphin fans saying, we got Tua, we're fine. Yeah, well, we're talking about a top 5 quarterback in the league. Right now, Tua's bottom 10. So if I were a Dolphin fan, which I'm not, I'm just being an unbiased fan, there's about 6 to maybe 12 quarterbacks in the league that I think are untouchable. And Tua is one of those that are very touchable, that can be moved. And again, I know the Dolphins have just got this guy, and many fans are going to be upset to see him gone and are going to be like, why would you trade for Deshaun? We have Tua, because they're not even close to the same talent. Deshaun, like I said, is a top 5 talent in the league. But just assuming the Dolphins were considering it, what would the trade package be? What would the Dolphins have to actually give up? First things first, the Texans might say, last team we're trading to is the Dolphins. We've gotten screwed out of that with the Laramie Tunsil trade. We're not doing this again. Chris Greer, the GM of the Dolphins, just made us look silly in that trade. We can't give them Deshaun. Personally, though, I do feel like the Dolphins are one of the 3 teams that have the most draft capital. Probably the Dolphins, Eagles, as far as draft capital goes. Giants have a good amount of draft capital. And as far as desperation for a quarterback, Dolphins are probably the least desperate because a lot of people believe in Tua, but I think the Giants, I feel like they could still be considered desperate. A team that could use a Deshaun Watson, let's put it that way. Dolphins, Giants, Eagles, the 3 teams that happen to have capital. I think the Broncos would be shopping them. Maybe a Raiders. I don't know if they're willing to move off of Derek Carr. I'm not sure. Derek Carr is actually pretty good, but again, this is a top 5 quarterback in the league, a franchise-changing QB. There's only a few teams that can afford them and that really need them, and the Dolphins are one of them. Personally, if I were the Dolphins, what I would be willing to offer is Tua. That gives the Texans whatever they want. Tua may or may not be the next best thing. He's a wild card. He's a question mark, and the Texans have to know that. If they trade for him, I would give Tua. Dolphins have 1 first-round pick in 2022 and 2 first-round picks in 2023. I would give both of those both of those first-round picks, Tua and Xavier Howard. That sounds like a lot because Xavier Howard's a top 5 cornerback in the league, top 3 cornerback in the league. And he's practically worth 2 first-round picks. So that's basically 5 firsts, if you consider Xavier Howard to be worth 2 first-round picks. Again, just to make it clear because I was kind of sputtering there. Tua Tagovailoa is who I would offer. My 3 first-round picks over the next 2 years, 1 in 2022 and 2 in 2023, and Xavier Howard, which is kind of worth 2 first-round picks, making it seem like I'm offering 5 first-round picks and a quarterback. That sounds like a lot, yes, but given the situation where this really only puts the Dolphins in a pickle for like the next 2 years of draft capital, and I know losing Xavier Howard is not ideal, and if I was Xavier Howard, I would want nothing to do with Houston. If I were him, I want my money, but I don't want to go to Houston for it. They have no chance over the next 3 years to be competitive, in my opinion. But the Dolphins, that sounds about right. He's a top 5 quarterback. We've never really seen this big of a trade happen before. They're going to have to set the benchmark. If a rookie QB and Trey Lance can go for 3 first-round picks and a third, I think a franchise quarterback that is proven could go for 3 first-round picks, a starting cornerback, and a question mark QB. That sounds about right. Maybe subtract a first-round pick. Maybe Xavier Howard, 2 firsts, and Tua. Xavier Howard, it really just depends on where you value him. If you think he's worth a first-round pick and that's it, then you got to give 3 firsts. But if you think he's worth 2 first-round picks and a third, then maybe you only offer 2 first-round picks. And no, I'm not a GM. I'm not in front office. I'm just a guy with a broad opinion. But that sounds about right to me when you're trading for a top 5 quarterback in the league. And I understand the Dolphins don't want to miss out on Xavier Howard, but he's already sitting out of camp. He's already kind of missing money. And if I'm Xavier Howard, I don't want to be to Houston. I would accept the money I'm being paid to stay in Miami rather than be shipped out to Houston. But if he's continued to being persistent on leaving or getting his money and Houston could give it to him, I think Deshaun Watson can make up for his loss. You still have a great defense in Byron Jones, Devon Holland, Jaelan Phillips, Christian Wilkins, Emmanuel Ogbah, Andrew Van Ginkel, Jerome Baker. Up front on offense, he's got a somewhat better O-line. They brought in Liam Eichenberg in the draft, a pretty decent tackle. He's got a deep receiving core. He's used to playing with Will Fuller. They got some chemistry there. Devontae Parker, Jaylen Waddle, Mike Gesicki. Brian Flores is a great coach. This is a competitive team that can win the AFC East. This is a competitive team that can win the AFC if you add a top 5 quarterback in the league. Everyone's already predicting the Dolphins to make the playoffs with Tua. You're telling me they can't go far into the playoffs with Deshaun Watson. I'm just saying, I think they should consider it. I don't think the Dolphins need to do this or have to do this. It is a franchise decision, and the Texans might not even be open to it, and it's hard to determine the value. That sounds really steep, a possibly franchise QB, because we don't know what we're going to have to Tua. Dolphins giving up franchise QB, 3 first-round picks, and Xavier Howard. That sounds like a lot, but this really only affects you for the next 2 years. You only have 3 first-round picks for so long. You're still going to have the rest of your picks, a 2nd, a 3rd, a 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. If I'm giving up Xavier Howard, I've actually kind of taken that back. I don't know if I want to give up 3 firsts because I do think he's worth 2 firsts himself. But still, you might have to give us some picks. Tua, 2 firsts, Xavier Howard, and a 3rd. Something along that line sounds right. Again, I don't expect that to be the exact deal. I'm not the GMs. I'm not in the front office. I can't crunch the numbers and find the value to the exact pick. But that is just my broad opinion. That's off the top of my head what I think sounds like a good scenario and a great package for both sides. Franchise QB and a franchise setup for the next 2 years to really turn your franchise around very, very fast. You got an all-pro corner on your team. Again, if I'm the Dolphins, I don't want to give up Xavier Howard. If I'm Xavier Howard, I don't want to see him leave Miami at all. But this is just the type of defensive starter that the Houston Texans might be looking for again. I don't know if it will happen. I don't think it needs to happen, but I would at least consider it. If I'm Chris Greer, if I'm Brian Flores, if I'm the Dolphins front office, I'm making a phone call and seeing what do you want. Can we give you, 4 firsts, Tua, and keep Xavier? Can we give you 1 first, Xavier and Tua? I don't know. They're going to have to talk. Like I said, it's tough for me to determine the exact value. That's just my thoughts around there somewhere. About Tua, 2 firsts, and Xavier would be my official offer I'd be okay with, or I could work around. We'll just have to see how it turns out. You guys tell me, are you all for it? Do you want the Dolphins to go all in and get Deshaun? Are you saying all against it? We want to keep Tua for whatever reason, or are you kind of like me in the middle where it just depends on the price? I want to hear it from you guys. And of course, like I said in the beginning video, question is, what is your package for Deshaun Watson? To me, not just for the Dolphins' perspective, but I do think Deshaun Watson is worth possibly a quarterback that has potential, but we just don't know yet. A Daniel Jones, a Tua, a Jalen Hurts, a Drew Lock, kind of a guy that you don't expect to be great, but he still has a decent ceiling. One of those guys, probably 3 first-round picks and a star player, is about what Deshaun is going to go for, in my opinion. We'll just have to see how it turns out, though. You guys tell me. As always, and of course, thank you for watching, guys. I truly, truly appreciate it. 2-minute warning.